We're here with Matt Riddle at UFC on Fuel 7 at Wembley after his win over Che Mills. You know, first thing, you got a smile on your face with everything you do. Is that, how does that help you as a fighter?
You know, it's funny. I started smiling when I was wrestling in high school. I had braces, and every time I got hit in the face, I'd just be bleeding everywhere. So I just started smiling, so when they hit me, their hand would be bleeding and not my face. And then when I started fighting, you notice you got to bite down on your mouthpiece. Well, if you're smiling, you're already biting down. So it kind of just translated from high school wrestling, because I didn't want my mouth to bleed, into not getting knocked out in the cage.
That's a fair point. Look, I think it's fair to say you're probably one of the most underrated fighters in the division, and certainly your evolution over the last 4 or 5 fights is remarkable. Who do you owe that to? Obviously, it's your training, but
you know, honestly, before, you know, I was just going out there and winging it, and you know, and surprisingly, I was doing pretty good still, you know. And now I just go out there with game plans. I fight smart. I'm educated, you know, and I'm taking my time. I'm looking for things instead of just rushing into everything. And the difference, you can see, it's night and day, you know. And I've always been training with the best, and since I've been in the UFC and doing very well. But then when I'd fight, you know, I'd be losing fights, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong, or barely winning? And it's because I wasn't really going out there with a game plan, and I never had a serious camp. You know, now I'm working with James McSweeney, Robert Drysdale, you know, the Abu Dhabi champion, world champion Muay Thai kickboxers, and yeah, you know, it's just I'm working with quality people, and they're helping me instead of me just helping them.
Every mixed martial artist wants to be an all-rounder, but where do you see the biggest improvements in your game in the future? Where do you think we can see? Is it going to be in the? It's
going to be in the stand-up game. I can tell you this. Even McSweeney's saying my stand-up, every time we work more and more, my stand. He's like, you're at that level where, you know, probably like 6 more months, you're going to be knocking people out pretty easy. And when I'm in the gym, I do quite well. You know, Che Mills, I wanted to showcase more skills, but at the same time, I just wanted to get that W, get 4 wins in a row, and, you know, get to my family. I didn't really want to break my hands either. A bunch of new video games are coming out, and yeah, I just had to play it safe. No broken jaw, no broken hands, and I did that tonight, so I'm very happy.
I got to ask one question about the press conference. I got to ask a question about Mark Goddard. You've probably been asked it before. How much of that was gamesmanship, and how much of that do you absolutely stand by? I'm not questioning.
As a referee, I think he's educated. I was misspoken. He isn't uneducated, and he isn't ignorant. The problem I see with him is he gets caught up with the crowd. Like, I guarantee you, if he was my ref tonight, he would have stood me up in side control, and he probably would have stood me up when I had his back a couple times, because I was hitting him, but I wasn't like hitting him so hard the crowd was going ooh, and he really plays into the crowd. And honestly, when you're fighting in a cage, and those takedowns take a lot out of you, even defending a takedown takes a lot out of you, if they stand you up 20 seconds after you get one of those, it puts you in a great disadvantage in the cage. And you got to realize, we're trying to kill each other basically. Yeah. We got some rules, but you know, it's a street fight.
You could hear that with the crowd when you had North and South, and you know they're starting to boo, but it was quite obvious you were working for your transition with this, and then into the side control. Do you think that that's part of the game the Brits still have to sort of embrace a little bit more? Yeah,
you know, the thing is, they're watching me and they're probably thinking I'm not doing anything. What they don't know is Che Mills was holding on to my wrist as hard as he could, blocking the neck, and I was trying to slip my bicep in and choke him unconscious. And I had him in trouble a little bit, but once he got this arm this far away, I didn't have the distance. I had to go to side control. But you know, the more educated fans and the longer, and the thing is, honestly, once we get on mainstream big TV here in the United Kingdom, that's when everybody's going to be like, this is what he's doing, this is why he's doing it, da 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 da, and they're going to be like, oh, because that's what they should have been doing, because I almost had a submission.
Before I let you go, you know, the UK fans, they've had a little bit of bad blood, but do you see yourself, you know, are they going to warm to you?
They warmed up to me great. I love the UK fans now. I had a great time in London, you know, and I would come back here in a heartbeat. It was fantastic. If Hathaway wants to do it over here, or in Sweden, or in Germany, wherever, I'll come back to Europe and do it. I had a great time over here.
Well, it was a phenomenal performance against a really top class vet in Che Mills. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. Cheers.